Welcome everyone to our first ever episode of To Dare Is to Debate. Hope everyone's good wherever you are in the world. I'm joined as always and will be every week by the glamorous co-hosts of Mia and Elly. How are you, Mia?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, Kate. Considering we had a loss yesterday, I'm actually in quite a good mood tonight. So, all right, I'm not too bad.
Good.
Yeah, I'm really good. And there was a lot of positives to take. So I'm not in a bad mood at all.
Yeah, before we start. Yeah, good. Before we start, there is, oh, no, it's gone. There is Mia's channel. If you're watching on mine, that's Mia's channel. And there's both channels. So make sure you smash the likes and subscribe to both channels because it's a dual stream. So, yeah, want to get everybody liking and sharing.
And in my chat, I have pinned it. So if you haven't already subscribed, please make sure you do subscribe to Kate. Absolutely.
Yeah. And the same, it's pinned on my channel as well. So what a week to start our first show. After last night. I thought before we bring our lovely guests on, we would have a quick thoughts on the, oh look, that I've done that wrong. Look, Laddies thoughts on the Chelsea game. I thought we'd give a quick rundown on what we thought of the game last night. So I'll go to Mia first and get your thoughts on what occurred.
Oh God, I think quickly to summarise, I think that the ones that went off were silly, but the ones who stayed on were absolute warriors. They fought so hard, and I was so proud of those boys, and that's why they got a standing ovation at the end, because they absolutely fought with all their heart, and you can't ask for more than that, Kate. Do you know what I'm saying? So I was really proud of those 9 warriors who remained.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. And what's your summary of the game?
Yeah, I think it was uglier, and then fabulous by our 9 men that were on the pitch that fought like warriors, like going out to battle on the Alamo, like Jacob says. You know, but the thing is, it was a bit of a chaotic match, and it was like, it was a hard watch from the stadium, right? Because a lot of feelings were going like all over the place. You didn't know whether you're going to be sad, happy. It took you to new levels. And the stadium, we gave him a standing ovation at the end. So that tells you a lot about what happened and the connection that we've got with the club now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree 100%. Before we carry on, let me go through the chat, or I'm going to get too far behind. I concur with everything you've both said. Obviously, we'll go into more detail when we bring the guests on. But let's have a look. We've got Bobby K in the house. Big up, Bobby K. Hope you're well. Big up, Jose. Thank you very much. Get a like and comment on both channels. Thank you. Ben's in the house, laughing away. Big up, Ben, the mod father. Evening to Andrew Gregory, says good evening Spurs ladies and everyone. Big up Kuva99 is in the house. Oh, Steve D, the best ladies on YouTube. What can we say? Thank you very much. Liked and commented on both channels. That's the spirit. I will be posting the link throughout, but my link is pinned in Mia's chat. Mia's link channel is pinned in my chat. So subscribe to us both. Robert Wilson says, evening, ladies, and everyone in chat. Steve D's bigging up everyone. Oh, someone from Spurs Between the Lines. Big up to whoever that is.
I reckon she's quite nice.
Yeah. Big up, Nita. Good to see you. Big up, Drew Lala. Says, the beautiful Spurs ladies, I'm here listening, but my brothers came to watch the footy. That's all right. We'll let you off. Davo, evening all, and everyone in the chat. And Kuva says, comment, pity typing. Well, being that Kuva's coming out with all the humour already, we might as well bring our guests in tonight. We've got the gorgeous Scandinavian that is Kuva and the gorgeous Malteser that is Jimbo. How are you both? I'll go to Jim first because he doesn't look as scary as Kuva with his new haircut.
Am I not too dark? Am I all right? It's not too dark.
No, you're all right, darling. That's all. No, that's fine.
Everything's good.
Yeah.
Still positive.
Good. That's what we like to hear. You just can't say that we're going to go the whole season unbeaten now.
No, that's a right load of old pony, isn't it? I can't do that.
Replay.
Yes.
Big up to the newly groomed Kuva. How are you?
Kruma. I'll go for that. I'm good. No, you see, one of the big benefits with losing is I get to shave that scraggly hair and side chops off. It's nice. It feels good now.
I was going to say, I bet it feels lighter now.
Certainly does. It's even worse if we're going unbeaten going into the summer.
Oh my God, yeah. Can you imagine? That would be funny. You'd end up having a bob or something.
Oh, I've got Bob of my own. He's my co-host.
Yeah, you'd have a Bobby K on your head.
Everybody's dream.
Everybody's dream. Well, we might as well go straight into the first topic. Jim, I'll come to you first. What's your general thoughts on the game last night and what happened?
Weird, mad. Good points, Vicario. The subs that come on did as well as they could, I think, including Dyer. And stuck to his guns. He's not going to divert, which is good. The crowd, 100% behind the team, not letting off at all, singing through the whole match, standing ovation at the end. That's the good points. Bad points, obviously, we know. Rashid Romero, your doggy, yeah, he's young, so. But I'm not going to come down hard on him. Romero should know better. He should know better, but at the end of the day, that's his game. He's going to do that now and again. I thought he'd got past that. And the doggy, I'm not going to come down on him because he's a kid and he'll learn from it. And we'll crack on and move forward.
Yeah, so you're still feeling positive?
Yeah, 100%. Why should we feel positive? We're second in the league. We're 1 point behind City?
Yeah.
1 point behind City, second in the league. It's going to be hard. I'm not going to be screaming my head off we're going to win the league anymore, right? I'm just going to tone it down a bit because of the situation we're in. So I don't want to mug myself off too much, even though many other people think I mug myself off anyway. But I still believe we can do it. I'm just not going to be shouting as loud. But why not? Let's see how we go. Andrew's worked with these players for months and months and months. He must have instilled some of his ways into them. Let's see how they come on and perform. Until we see them play, I'm not putting none of them down. I wouldn't put them down anyway, Kate. They're our players. It's our club. So,
Kuva, what are your thoughts?
No, it was boring, wasn't it? I fell asleep after 5 minutes. Everybody's saying it, though. The word madness keeps coming up, and for good reason. That was just unbelievable. Never seen a game like that. Even back in the old First Division, I haven't seen nothing quite like that. It was totally lost in the moment. We come out all guns blazing, playing great football. It was unbelievably good to watch. I was absolutely getting carried away with that. You bet I was saying we're going to win the league at that point. But it all changed with that crazy doggy double-footed challenge that he got away with. The tone changed in the game completely after that.
Yeah.
It turned nasty. And then it turned into a fight instead of us doing what we should have been doing. Just concentrating on the football, where we are a better side than Chelsea. Tell you what, we're not a better side than them when we go down to 9, although even that was debatable at times.
Yeah.
They were not great. I just think opportunity missed, a lot of lessons to be learned. Romero, I'm not going to be too hard on him because generally speaking, this season, he has cut out all of that nonsense that we saw regularly. So he's going to have a flash up at times. Who knows what goes on the pitch, whether he's getting wound up in, a bit of Spanish being told to him. I think Enzo's Argentinian as well. Perhaps there's a little bit of a wind up, bit of niggle going on there. Clearly, he's reacted to it. It was stupid. He should know better by now. But what's done is done. There's no point, hanging him out to dry now. He's still one of our best defenders. So let's hope.
What did you make? Sorry, mate. What did you make of Son's goal? Didn't look offside to me.
Hang on, we're going to go into that, Jim. Don't jump
sorry.
ahead.
Sorry,
Calm
sorry.
yourself down. Rein yourself in.
Oh, I've
You know,
got to
you
shut
get all
up
like-
and not swear.
You're
All right.
always premature.
All right.
I think just to finish off though, no moaning, no whining from me. We lost fair and square. There's nothing to blame there from VAR or refereeing decisions. I personally think the ref actually did a really good job, because that was absolute chaos. What's he supposed to do? I thought he handled it fairly well. You know, congrats to Chelsea for the win. They can, you know, I know a lot of their fans were really upset about the way it was going when it was only 2-1. Some I know I was getting text messages saying, I can't believe you lot are actually going to stitch us up with 9 men. They really thought we were going to get a draw out of it. So they were going ballistic. We, as usual, hung in there. The game wasn't really settled until the 94th minute. And I think that speaks volumes. There's a lot said about, you know, the tactics from Ange and, you know, was it the right move? I'll just say that the proof was there. We went on that long to get to that point. We could have got a draw out of it. That was within the realms of possibility. Would we have got that if we sat back, parked the bus with Højbjerg and Dyer in the central defence under constant onslaught for 45 minutes? I don't think so, personally. But
Kuva's just gone through every talking point we've got, so we might as well end the show now.
Well, see you later.
No, I get what you're saying. We will obviously go into it in more detail as we go along. But yeah, I agree with pretty much what you both said. I'll go through the chat quickly before we move on. Ben, he's leaving us in suspenders. He says, after this stream ends, we have something hilarious for you to watch with no spoilers. Ooh. Big up David Shire. He says it's 4:10 a.m. Purple is a sign of sexual frustration. Or is it just frustrated footy fans? Or is it both? Who knows? Yes, Ben, big up to you for doing such a lovely background for us. Thank you very much indeed. Evening, Adrian Schroker. Hope you are well. Just when you thought the standard of refereeing couldn't get any worse, along came Michael Oliver. Complete contrast to what you said, Kuva, but we will go into that.
Yeah, I can see why people would say that, because of the nature of things that happen in the game. Perhaps, you know, he was letting things go early on that perhaps should have been bookings in other games. But I think under the circumstances, who the hell could have got all of that right? I think he did pretty well myself.
Yeah, I agree. Big up David Shire, just became a member. Thank you very much indeed. Mia says, smash the likes on both channels, guys. Spurs Between the Lines, at Spurs Between the Lines 1. It's pinned to the top of my chat. And if you're in Mia's room, then my channel is pinned in there as well. He lost his invincible bet. Oh, I don't believe he really did that. Gutsy performance. I now expect Ashley Phillips to start against Wolves, as he was left out of tonight's under-21 squad at Cambridge. Interesting. There you go. Interesting. Keybake says, come on, you Spurs ladies. Adrian, I agree, mate. And Donnelly too. Oh, interesting. Nick Delator is saying, I honestly felt as Tottenham could win the game until Chelsea went 2-0 up. 2-1 up, I think, or 2 up, so it went 3-1. I prefer the attacking mentality and can live with the outcome. Yeah, risk and reward and all that. Possibly as Richie's due to have an operation. Yeah, Richie, another one. Evening, girls and boys. Gutted, it's always Chelsea. Proud of the 9 that stayed on, Mia. Big up, John Langford. Good to see you in Mia's chat. Big up to Mr. Wayne Bonner. We all knew we'd lose at some point. It's all part of the game, just as we all knew we'd get a few whoopings. Didn't see the game, but heard we stuck to our guns and still played football. And yes, we did. And he said, did someone say suspenders? I did actually say suspenders. Sorry. I should have known. If I mentioned suspenders or nuns, Wayne Bonner just appears. It's like Candyman.
That's right.
Oh, sorry. Shear. David Shear. I knew that. I don't know why I called you Shire. It's David Shear. Best of luck with your new show. Thanks, Dermot. Good to see you. Yeah, trust you, Wayne Bonner. Exactly that, Mia. Exactly that. I'd like to see Phillips get a game, see what he's all about and how far he has to progress. Adrian says, Vicario and the Spurs crowd get my man of the match. Yep. And Mark CFC, the Chelsea fan who we actually like, even though he's a Chelsea fan, we love him, says, hi all, take first 15. I thought that here we go, nervous Chelsea, then Udogie first challenge, then next 10 to 15 we grew into it, and then Romero happened, then 2-1, then down to 9 men, and we were too rash for 15. Yeah, it was just an absolute bonkers game. I mean, I still can't get my head around it, I'm not going to lie. But Mia, I'll let you take the next topic so I can shut up.
Players' discipline, real concern, or were we just caught up in the moment? Because obviously at times we wait, like people say, we need to play the game and not the occasion. So it looked like to us that it was a bit more of playing the occasion. So what do you think, Elly? Is there a discipline problem, or was it just caught up in the moment?
I think there was a lot of angst from that game when we drew 2-2, when Romero pulled Cucurella's hair, right? And I think they had it in for him as well. So I think they were giving a lot of jib to Romero. I think that's what happened. And he's ill-disciplined. We know it. We know he's going to blow. He's like a volcano, isn't he, Romero? Ready to explode, right? So I think we did lose our discipline and we did play the occasion rather than the game, but not in the first 15 minutes because we were on it. And that Sonny goal was sublime. It was brilliant, right? And it was unlucky it was a disallowed goal, but I just think we lost our heads. We should have stayed calm, you know, and we would have won the match. That's one thing for sure. We would have won that match if it was 11 against 11 or even 10 against 11. We would have won it because we were on the front foot even with 9 men. So that's my take on the game anyway.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Bobby K. I hope you're good.
Good evening. Good evening. How's everybody?
Yeah.
Well, this is depressing.
What is? What's depressing?
My boo-boo bear's head is naked.
Just for you.
I was hoping I wouldn't have to see that haircut till the end of the season.
I know. We was all hoping.
We were. So what about you, Jim? Do you think it was is a discipline problem, or do you think it was just caught up in the moment?
No, it's just playing Chelsea. It's just playing Chelsea. They got caught up in it. I think they know what it's like for us when we play Chelsea. I just think they just got a bit hot-headed and a bit carried away. But Romero, we got to remember, Romero is one of the captains. He should be the one that's calming everyone down. But maybe if he'd have got booked earlier, it might not have happened. I don't know, but no, I don't think so. I think they've just caught up in the moment. He's been brilliant, Romero, all season. We can't moan about him. And your doggy's young; he's still learning. So no, not at all.
And over to you, hairless Kuva.
Oh, sorry, just 1 second. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Then we'll go to Bobby. Bobby.
Hi.
The question.
Welcome, Bobby.
Hi, Jen. Hi, ladies.
Hello.
The question is there a discipline problem with Tottenham, or was it just us caught up in the moment?
I think actually, I said this to the boys close to the beginning of the game that we look nervous. It seems, there's some just the way players were playing. It's just all of a sudden everybody was out of form. It wasn't 1 or 2 players. There was some issue with synchronization. I think the moment got to them. You know, at the end of the day, it is a young squad, and maybe all this pressure, we as fans started hyping on them because we're top of the league, we're going to win the league, and the double is on and everything. And maybe they didn't realize that we don't expect them to go undefeated to win the league. We know they're going to win it. It's just a matter of, okay, just ease into it, boys. Just, so the pressure came. They didn't soak it up properly. It's a learning experience now. You go back, this is our second loss under Ange. The first one, what was it, 9 changes, eight changes,
Right.
9 changes. It was 9 changes. Okay, that's on him. This one, Romero. I know you guys are cutting him some slack. I was a bit disappointed. I don't know if you noticed even earlier in the game, he kicked out at a player.
Yeah.
That went completely unnoticed by the ref. He got lucky
Yeah.
there. There was a point where it was after we just scored. I think it was around the 7th minute. You see him, shove somebody from behind as soon as the play kind of goes away. It just seemed that he was in a shitty mood or something yesterday. He was in that shithousery mood, but took it overboard kind of thing. Now, I know some people are arguing that shouldn't have been a red. It should have been a red. In reality, it's pretty much the exact same thing that happened with us against Liverpool, isn't it? Player went for the ball went over, the foot went over the ball, rolled over, and then went down on the player's ankle. So we didn't complain when it was a call in our favor. We can't complain when it's a call not in our favor. I love the fact that Ange, his interview after this, just didn't even allude to any of that shit. He didn't start crying and bitching. I don't know. Maybe you guys can correct me. What do you guys know when the replay is going to be? Oh, he didn't ask for one. Sorry. It's you know what, guys? It was a learning lesson for them. He's going to pick them up. He's going to have them move forward, and that's all we can do right now. I think the thing that bothers me most is who it was against. None of us have any respect or love for Chelsea. And the fact that Poch got to come in and get such a big win with his team against a 9-man unit with Dyer in there, like the one of the best parts to me at the moment was seeing Dyer score and watching Big K jump off the couch and go running around the house for 10 seconds before he realized it was offside. Because he was ready to give it good to everybody that's been saying anything about Dyer. But the argument can be made that he came on and he did well for himself, but then the last 2 Nicholas Jackson goals, he was the man that he kind of beat. But we were playing such a high line, and when you're playing a high line with guys that don't have pace, you're going to get beat. And it was at the end of the game, we're playing 2 men down. We were out of gas at that point. It was a learning lesson. As far as I'm concerned, I saw more fight from 9 than I saw from 11 a lot of the times over the last few years, and we got to just take the see what silver lining is and take that, right?
Yep.
So, Kate, how about you? What's your thoughts on the?
We've missed Kuva, haven't we? We've got to go back to Kuva.
Go back to Kuva. I forgot about
he disappeared for a minute. I'll put this up.
He missed a hair. That's why.
I'll put this up as well because this was both Destiny's challenges as well. So I'll put them up just to even it out.
Oh, let's start off with Romero then. The little petulant kick out, for me, that's absolutely nothing stuff. It's not even worth telling off. It's just, it's the sort of thing David Beckham got sent off for in the World Cup, and it was ridiculous then. It's ridiculous now. It's not a big deal. However, when he did get sent off, my God, he deserved it. There is no way in hell anybody that's ever played the game at any serious level, or even amateur level, can tell me that there's no intent behind that. He is looking to absolutely clear him out there. At full force going into that. Really dangerous. It could have been a leg breaker. Deserved to go. No complaints from me whatsoever. If you're just looking to clear the ball, you wouldn't have even needed to hit the player. There was plenty of room there to clear it. He had been wound up. He wanted a bit of retribution for whatever was said or done. He got it, and it's cost us. I agree with people saying you expect more from a captain, don't you? He should be above this. They will talk about it. Postecoglou will talk about this with him. He knows he's gone wrong. I'm more interested to see what happens for the rest of the season now. Is this going to be the little blip that that's ruined an otherwise good season for him, or is this yet another in a long line of bits of ill discipline? On to the Udogie one. First offence, I just thought, well, what are you doing? Why? I mean, they made a big point of it. This tackle was ruled illegal 20 years ago for good reason. I mean, both feet up in the air. all throughout my entire playing career, I never did a tackle like that. Never would have dreamt of it. The only thing you're standing to do there is catch a player. That's a potential career ending sort of tackle. So when people say he could have gone then, I agree. That was wild. As wild as it gets. But he got away with that one, which makes, when he did get finally sent off, it makes that even more stupid, because you should be aware that you're on a yellow. Your team's already in trouble. You don't do reckless things at that point. Although the sending off tackle, for me, it was just a mistimed tackle, that one. It was a genuine attempt at the ball. It was just poorly judged. Got carried away with the moment, knew the team's in trouble. He's trying his best to try and change things and, win us every single tackle. Sometimes you have to let a little bit go, play with a little bit of sense. But he's a young lad. He will learn from it. They'll all be talking about this with his coaching staff. You could see he was genuinely upset about what happened on his way off. He knew he'd let the team down. You could see Sonny grab him to try and comfort him a little bit, saying, don't let it get to it. It's a mistake. Let it go. It's fine. Done and dusted. Learn from it. Romero's was far worse in every way for me. The doggy, unfortunate, but it set the scene, didn't it? Is it ill discipline? For me, definitely caught up in the moment. When we play teams like Chelsea or Arsenal or even West Ham to a lesser degree, but still there is niggle. These teams do not like each other. But us against Chelsea, for me, is the ultimate one for that. It is nasty. It turns into a war zone on a regular basis. The fans know it. The players know it. Everything kicks off at the drop of a hat in these games. The occasion got to us. As I remember saying before the match, we will swipe Chelsea aside, no problem, if we just concentrate on the football. If we get caught up in the occasion, all sorts of things happen in a London derby, and we saw what happened there. I think we're unlucky that I think it was Bissouma pushing Colwill away when he was in danger of getting himself sent off as well. If he'd let him go, it would have evened things up a bit, wouldn't it? So,
yeah.
It was actually
ifs and buts. They can't excuse what our players did. They both deserve to go. End of story. Move on.
Joe, the thing I'll say about that is we don't know how Saar would have reacted. That's the only problem, because it could have ended up being Saar being sent off as well. So
True.
I think that it was probably the correct decision to kind of try and break it up, to be fair.
It was actually Royale that pulled him physically off, because I remember the commentator saying he should have just let him get on with it and get himself sent off. For me, I'm a little bit concerned with the discipline. I think that we're getting yellow cards for petulant things, and Romero showed again how petulant he can be. He definitely has that bozo gene in there. I'm sorry to say it, because I like him, but it's still in there. I thought he'd changed, but ridiculous. I said to Jim, I fancied him to get sent off. I said as soon as a doggy get carded, Ange needs to take him off. He's going to get sent off, and exactly what happened. I do think there's a little bit of ill discipline, but they are a young squad, and Ange is going to work with them. What I will say is I do think Romero's tackle was vicious. I think there was real intent there. I know a lot of people say there wasn't. I do. I think there was real intent there, and we all know that he has got that in his game. But it is what it is. We move on. What else can we say? It's done. Hopefully they learn from it. I'm sure Ange will deal with it in his own way behind the scenes when he gives them a good old spanking behind closed doors in the dressing room.
Well, apparently it's down to the actual team to decide what happens with a player when it happens. Like, so it's a leadership group, obviously not Romero because he's part of it, but they will decide together as a group what they think should happen. So I think that's really interesting that they're allowing their teammates to sort of make that decision. I think we played the occasion, absolutely. I think that it got to us, like someone else said, Romero before he actually got sent off was absolutely lost his noggin. Don't know what he was doing. I think someone said it is. I think he saw that there was challenges going in and being unpunished. But if we're going to flip this, we're going to reverse it, as Jacob also says, bit of Missy Elliott, then you've got to say that actually they were quite ill-disciplined as well, because they did lose their head. Colwell could have got himself well sent off. You had the elbow, forearm in the face as well. So actually, it was just an all-round, a bit of a battle of the bridge 2.0, weren't it? To be honest with you,
It
like
was,
when you look at it,
Definitely.
a bit of that energy going on yesterday, which it made for an absolute bonkers, crazy game, but not one that I felt comfortable watching, not going to lie, because I was just like, what the hell's going to happen next? Because you just didn't know. When Vicario started coming out, I was like, please time those correctly, because if we lose a goalkeeper as well, I don't know what the heck we're going to do. You know, like that was absolutely mad. And I think at that point we'd made all our subs, so I don't know what would have happened. It would have been just absolute madness. So I think, we was playing the occasion. Overall, I think it was just an ill-disciplined game, and I don't think the referee really, although he didn't do, I don't think his decisions were bad. I think that he didn't get hold of the game. He wasn't really like in charge. He didn't have a word with the players to either sort this out, or the next time you're getting booked to every player, not just top players, because I felt that Chelsea players needed a bit of a word as well, because I think they put in some challenges that they should have had a yellow as well. So, I do think it was just a bit of out of control.
I do. I mean, I heard Sonny get quite a lot of criticism today on certain channels, saying that as a captain, he should have sort of told the players to calm down. I don't know what you guys think about that, whether you agree.
I think the leader, he's the captain, so he could have probably said to the players, listen, get them together and have a little word when there was like a little break in play, and say, listen, they're trying to wind you up. Don't let them get to you. Don't let them get in your heads. You know, like he could have definitely done that. I do agree.
Yeah. Anyone else before we move on?
Yeah, I don't think a captain should need to tell his vice captain to behave.
No.
So
I
think it's a bit harsh to criticise some for it. It's a mentality problem with individuals. They will talk about it after the game. It's cost them. They're going to be sorry about it.
I wasn't criticising Sonny. I was saying I could see it from that point of view. That's all. I wasn't criticising Sonny.
Oh yeah. I know. I thought you said other people were saying were very.
They were. Yeah. But I think sometimes people are just looking for ways to criticise as much as they can. So I just wondered what you all thought about it. It never even crossed my mind at the time, to be fair, but I did see it mentioned earlier.
Elly. He was making gestures to the players. He was starting to clap them and come on and you could see in his facial expressions that he wasn't pleased with the way the game was going. So Sonny's quite a quiet character. He's not like one to go around bashing people, but he's quite a calm man as well. So I think his calmness did help, and he was talking to the referee a lot. I don't know whether you saw that on the television, because at the match we were thinking he's trying to get hold of this referee to calm everybody down as well. But that referee, like Kuva, he didn't have control of the game. I think it was Mia who said it. I think he didn't have control of the game, and he let too much go on, and then it escalated. If he nipped it in the bud, like a lot of strong referees do, it would have been a lot better match.
Yeah, I agree. Elly, I'll let you take the next subject.
Yeah. Well, I thought they were flipping brilliant. That's what I think. Brave, flipping brilliant. Because we've always said we want to play on front foot football, not being scared to come out and press high, try and win the game. What's the point of sitting back like Liverpool did, right? Because I've heard a lot of these fans say, oh, why didn't we go into a low block like Liverpool? Look what happened to Liverpool. They lost the game as well. All right, they lost it by 2-1, not 4-1, but we could have scored 3 or 4 goals in that press, because there was Sonny's chance, there was the disallowed goal, we had another free kick, then there was Benny's one, so we could have, if we didn't do that and we lost, say 2-1, right, then people would say, oh yeah, it was good, because we lost by 4-1. And remember, their third and fourth goals came in extra time. They didn't come in normal time. They came in extra time. So I thought that was a very brave move of Postecoglou. And like he said in his presser, I'm not changing for anybody. If I went down to 5, I would still play that way. He's got a plan A. Just do plan A better. That's what he says. He doesn't want to adapt. And I heard another stream say, oh, you've got to adapt. Adapt what? Adapt to what? You're playing a game of football to win it. You're not adapting. You're going out to win that match. And if you don't, but you've been brave, I'd rather do that than be scaredy cats and fall back like Liverpool did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kuva, we'll come to you next. What do you make of his tactics?
I agree with Elly. I mean, this is a very divisive subject for among the fan base. For me, I'm always going to say you keep attacking. That's the point in playing football for me. It's you keep at the opponents. Now, if you're going to go back and play a low block, okay, that's well and good, but surely you need your first choice central defenders on and your left back still on the pitch. Liverpool had that when they did it against us and brought another centre back on. They had the personnel to do it. Whereas we had Eric Dyer, who's playing his first game of the season after being injured or out of favour. And we had Højbjerg, who isn't even a defender, as our patched up central defence. And Emerson Royale as a makeshift left back when he's a right footer. So that is not the time, as far as I'm concerned, where you try and hold out for 45 minutes of a game, trying to stop a goal being scored just so you can get a single point. I think much better what we did, take the game to the opposition, try and nick a goal, and just grit your teeth, ride your luck, and rely on catching them offside and your sweeper keeper doing the great job. And Vicario was absolutely sensational doing that. For that first 15 minutes when we went down to 9 men, Chelsea created nothing, absolutely nothing. It was easy for us. It justified what we were doing as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, eventually they got us, they broke us down. But let's face it, the problem wasn't what we were doing. The problem was we had 2 players sent off. So you can go on a low block and get tortured to death, end up losing anyway, or you can go out and try and give yourself just a glimmer of a chance at snatching something out of the game, no matter how unlikely. We chose to do that, and by God, we nearly did it. It was the 94th minute before they finally broke us. 94th minute. So we were that close. And literally just before they scored that 3rd goal, it was seconds before that Sonny had missed that chance to equalise. Those last few minutes could have played out totally different. And I don't care what people say about, oh, well, Chelsea should have got 8 goals or something like that. Yeah, but they didn't, did they? And they didn't look like they were going to score 8. So we were there in with a great chance. Of course, it would have been snatching something really unlikely out of the pan. But how amazing would it have been? And if it had happened, what a different conversation everybody would be having about this tactic Ange did. It's brave. To do is to dare. I'm all for it. Take the game to the opposition at all times. Sitting back, hiding, going out with a whimper. I've seen that for years. I'm sick of that. Let's have more of this. I love this manager for everything he does. And that is brave football, brave attacking football, and never hide. They were out there and they did us proud. When they went down to 9 men, those players put on such a shift for this club. And you could hear it with the fans. The fans were whooping up all of it. It was heroic stuff. Would we have seen that if we just sat back? No, I don't think we would have kept them out either. I think perhaps we would have sneaked out with a 2-1 loss or a 3-1 loss. God knows. You don't know what would have happened if we did a low block. We might have shipped in 6 or 7 goals anyway. We're a patched up team at the back there. It's all that was out of the question. It was the fact that we're down to 9 players that got us beat at the end of the day. We ran out of steam, but my God, we gave them a fight. I was so proud of what I saw there. The camaraderie amongst the team there, the players on the pitch played their socks off for each other there. And I think another player that I don't think got enough credit on the night for me is Porro. I think he absolutely nailed it down his side. When Mudryk came on, what did he do? Absolutely nothing. He was stuffed out instantly. And Porro still managed to get forward, whip in some really good free kicks, delivering the ball up the pitch. He looked like he'd turned his ankle in the first half, but he soldiered on. He got back with some telling recovery runs at times. I think he had a really good game. But when we were down to the 9 men, who could you single out and say they didn't do particularly well? They stood up, they worked for each other, and they did us proud. And I loved seeing that. I think I took more from that than I did if we just sneak being 11 versus 11 and just sneak to win. You could see the way forward here. You could see how passionate and how much they will work for each other. All we've got to do is stop these stupid individual mistakes with getting yourself sent off and that sort of thing. If we cut out that, we're in for a great time. I totally believe in Ange. And I've got to say, what happened there, the criticism he took, if anything, I love him even more after that, because that was defiance, and I love it. I love it. I'm not one for sitting back and just go out with a whimper.
That was an political broadcast done by Kuva.
Fantastic.
Loved it, Kuva. Bobby, how do you follow that? How do you follow that monologue?
All I know is I'm glad you said Bobby and not Jim.
I'm saying what Kuva said.
It's easy. What he said.
Yeah.
You know what? When you look at it, you could sit here and say, I already said it earlier. We had more fight with 9 men than we saw over the last few years from 11 men. So Ange clearly went for it. I remember seeing something or hearing something about how only 4 players actually made it past, I think it was the 61st minute. The rest of the squad has been changed. So that just shows you how many changes he made and what he actually set himself up for. Even though he brought on defensive players with Højbjerg, Royal, Dyer coming on, they still went forward and still tried to attack and still tried to get something. Had Dyer been a half an inch back, a couple of inches back, they would have had the tying goal. So it was great to see. It was the reason why we're all not too gutted, as you guys say over there, is because we saw our team go down fighting. And we all said that quite a few times over the last few seasons, that I got no problem losing as long as I see them fight. And they had no fight. Now they fought right to the very bitter end. And, you know, it is what it is. Unfortunately, it didn't work out in our favor, but it almost did. To think that we could have actually held on to them for that long, having lost our 2 best central defenders. You know, if we were comparing to the Liverpool game, had they lost Matip and Van Dijk, and they put in,
Madison as well,
you know, and it would have been a completely different animal. Yeah. So, you know, for what they did, for what Ange did, I think credit where credit is due. He did his level best to keep us in there, and the players definitely did their best to try to gain something from it, and we fell short. So on to the next one.
Jim, what are your thoughts? Jimbo?
I mean, makes me laugh. I've only ever seen one person, right? Well, 2 people put Ange down. It's Scott M and Mr. Box Office, right? Everybody else in the fan base, everybody wants him. Everybody loves him after the first 10 games. And yet I've seen people today, not in your chat, but I've seen people today in other chats saying he's this, he's that. We all wanted him because of the football he plays. What do you want him to go back to Conte ball? Right? We want him because of the football he plays. Well, he said he's not going to change his football, so people have to accept that, you know. And he stuck to his guns, and it made it exciting. I know that's for sure. And there's not much more to say. Kuva's killed it, hasn't he? With his speech, it was brilliant.
I know. Can we have a help? Yeah.
We wanted him to play that football, and he's playing it. Right? There's no way on this planet that I'm ever going to think that I know better than Ange. That's for sure.
Okay, sorry, Bob. I see Bobby's got to go soon. Bobby, you jump out when you need to. Just give us a shout before you go. For me,
can I just say, sorry, can I just say, what about that save he done Vicario when he dived right at the guy's feet,
Oh
he
my
smacked him
God.
straight in the face. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what you call.
Yeah.
That's what you want from your keeper, not hesitation, straight down.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
like about Vicario as well? He celebrates every defensive brilliance that we put in. Like even if it's not brilliant, even if it's like say you've stopped somebody from scoring on the far post, he'll clap it and he'll go crazy. He's mental, but I like his mental attitude because he's full of heart, the boy. And like Dino Soft said, this keeper is the real deal, and I believe it now because I didn't know anything about him, but he so impressed me. He's fantastic. What a keeper! He stopped it from being 10-1. He did.
I went on the terrace last night, if anyone saw me, and I went on to
Yes.
Judge Mo, and I said that I thought it was I said that I thought it was naive, but I did what Stell did. We had Stell on this afternoon, me and Elly. I watched it again. I slept on it. I thought about it, and I woke up and I thought, you know what? Who's to say that if we'd have played, and gone defensive, we wouldn't have still lost? We might have lost by more. We was that close to this, pulling this off. And Ange would have been hailed an absolute genius today had he have pulled it off. I think we shocked Chelsea because no one's ever done it. No one's ever done that. Go down to 9 men and yet still play the high line. And like I say, we was within a whisker of doing it. For me, everyone that wanted Ange, that has been gushing and saying, I've been saying I wanted Ange from the beginning, suck it up, Buttercup, is what I've got to say, because anyone who knows Ange knows that this is his way. It's plan A, and if plan A don't work, plan B is to do plan A better. He don't change his tactics for anything. Rival fans are calling him naive, stupid, whatever. We'll see. I bet you he wins more than he loses. And I'm going to read this out. Sorry, I'm going on a Kuva speech, but someone sent me this today, and the Spurs web actually tweeted this out, and I thought it was brilliant. Eccleshare said, for a start, Postecoglou has shown to his players he believes wholeheartedly in what he is preaching to them. At Brisbane Roar and Celtic, there were equivalent early games that went disastrously, but were subsequently cited as being crucial in both teams' developments, uniting them and crystallising some of his messages. At Brisbane Roar, it was a 3-0 defeat to Melbourne Victory, and at Celtic, there was a home 4-0 defeat to Bayer Leverkusen a few months after the Australian had taken over. Both of those games were held up as evidence of Postecoglou's naivety and stubbornness. Both of those seasons finished with Postecoglou's sides winning the title. I could just drop the mic now and end the stream. I've got full faith in Ange, and you know what? It was entertaining. How boring would it have been if we'd have sat all of us behind the ball? We've moaned about it for years. Ange did something different, and it didn't quite pull off. But hey, we move on. What are your thoughts, Mia? Now I've rambled on for too long.
May I remind everybody what our saying is: to dare is to do. We do not want us to sit there and sit all the men behind the ball, and then we end up losing anyway. Because did Liverpool win when they did that? No, they did not. So what makes anybody think that us doing that would mean that we would win the game? We had more chances to win or to draw that game because of the way we were playing. We wouldn't have got those chances otherwise. If we would have sat back and let them hit onto us, there is absolutely no way we would have created those chances. Absolutely no way. Everybody complained about Dyer last season and how bad he is. And you want him to be defending our goal, getting battered, the goal getting battered. No, that's not what you want. You want to take that risk and reward. That's how Ange likes to play. And if you don't like it, then I suggest that you go back and look how he plays, because he ain't never going to change it. So if you support it or you don't, because I'll tell you what now, he ain't going to change it, man. He ain't going to change it. And I love it. I love the bravery, because it was us almost getting something out of that game. 9 men, and we almost got something out of that game. Can you imagine anyone else in that league ever doing that? and that would have been an absolute madness to do it. And we almost did do that. And the only reason they went got those extra goals because our legs got tired. It took 75 minutes for them to go 2-1 up. 75 minutes, and we had 10 men and then 9 men. They couldn't do it. They were losing like faith and hope because they knew that we were actually a bit scary. Even with 9 men, we were scary. So do you know what? It was absolutely phenomenal, and I backed him. Even last night, I was like, nah, I don't mind doing that. I'd rather do that instead of going out with a whimper. Oh, at least we defended and lost 3-1. Does the scoreline really matter? Does it matter if it's 3-1 or 4-1? We would have done it defensively and been rubbish. So at least we bloody tried and looked like we could have scored. So I'd much rather that, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, were we going to concede chances because we're down to 9 men? Of course we were. That's to be expected. Who doesn't? Even Liverpool had to rely on some, goalkeeping heroics at times against us, and we were basically cited as being very poor at trying to get the great Liverpool down. But
you know what,
right?
Joe really annoys me. Is everybody shoulda, coulda, woulda about Chelsea, the chances they had. How about we shoulda, coulda, woulda about the chances that we had? Because nobody keeps mentioning that. Yeah. Everyone's saying about Chelsea, but hold on, we had those chances. We had it marginally offside for Dyer, so marginally. So I'm sorry, we had chances as well. For anybody to say that we didn't is disingenuous in the actual game. When you look at the shots on target, they only had, I think, 1 more or 2 more shots on target than us. So they didn't absolutely batter us. Why? Because of the way we played. That shots on target, had we sat back, would have been tripled to what it was. The reason they didn't have that chance, because we didn't bloody let them have it, because we made sure that we kept attacking them. We gave it our all, man. That's what we want.
Yeah, we caught them offside. Do you know what upset me even more? Right, was all the fans saying, "Oh, if it was Klopp, if it was this manager, Postecoglou hasn't got a clue. He's not an elite manager. He'll never win the league." What are you talking about? Klopp did the same thing, right? And he got the same result, right? He didn't play front foot football, but he got the same result. He lost. Yeah. So what makes him better than Ange? Ange went for it, right? He didn't change his ways, but Klopp did. And I don't like this idea of adapting, right? No, you stick to what you're good at. He's drilled this team to play that way, right? And when we lost Maddison, he had to take off Johnson because he thought Kulu would hold the ball up better for us than Johnson would, right? So he took a chance there, but at least he took it. Other managers might not have done that. I said it might have been a mistake to take off Johnson because he was a really good threat. But on the whole of it, we lost Van der Ven, we lost Madders, Romero got sent off, Udogie got sent off, and we didn't adapt. We just stayed the same. We went for it, and we could have got those goals. If Dyer was about 2 or 3 inches offside, wasn't he? He wasn't much offside.
Sorry,
I'm just upset that people were saying that about our manager, who's done so much good work for us in such a short time.
And you know what else? Our manager didn't cry about the decisions. Our manager came out and
Bobby's got to go.
Oh, sorry.
Have a good show. Have a good night, everybody. Remember to hit the like button, everybody. Thanks.
Take care.
Bye, Bobby.
When our manager came out and spoke about those decisions, he didn't cry about it. He didn't ask for a replay. He just said, "Joe, what? It's just one of those things." So at least we acted like proper men on that pitch, and then our manager acted like a proper man when he got out and spoke about it as well.
That's right. Yeah, and he also said, "Look, I'm from old school." The game. He alluded to that the game's getting ruined. By taking the power away from the referee. He likes the referee to referee. And we do as well. As old school fans, even the youngsters are saying it. Let the referee. Why have we brought in this technology that's spoiling the game? It really is ruining our beautiful game. Because you have to wait for every decision.
That is our next topic. VAR. Yes. Is it ruining the game? So look at that effortless transition into topic number whatever it is.
The Queen, and the Queen will deliver.
Elly, I'm going to let you go first because you're already in full rant.
Yeah, because I hate VAR. I actually despise it because there's a lot of reasons why I hate it. But the thing is, the players are waiting around for these decisions, and like all their body's gone from high mode to low mode, and then you see Van de Ven, like Still said in our stream earlier, he's not a doctor, but it doesn't help when you're standing around, when you've been at full pelt, and then you're standing around, and then you can pull a muscle because your muscles go cold. So you're heating up your... Why do you think players do a warm-up before the game? So their muscles are warmed up. So they're warming, and this bloody VAR gets in the way. I hate it, right? And now we've lost Van de Ven, right? And there's so much wrong about it. It makes you like... It makes you really sick when you're waiting for it as well, the decision, because there's no explanation either. So you don't know what's going on, who's making these decisions. They get so much wrong as well. Even when they've drawn the lines, they get it wrong. You know, even people were saying Sonny's goal was onside today. The second that sublime goal he scored was onside. So I just think they should just scrap it, throw it in the nearest scrap heap, and just leave it there. And get some dogs to go over there and wee on it. That's what I say. Sorry about that one.
Oh dear. Kuva. Big up Paul G. Make sure you subscribe. Sorry, I'm just going to say, make sure you subscribe to both channels. This is a dual stream with myself and Mia over at Spurs Between the Lines. So make sure everyone subs to both. I am starring all the questions we've got coming in, so we will answer them. Kuva, what are your thoughts on VAR?
Totally agree with Elly. I've been bitterly opposed to it from the very start. I'm old school. I'm quite happy to just have good referees and good linesmen doing the best they can, and just have honest views on it. And if they're rubbish, let them be rubbish equally for both sides. I was brought up with that happening. It was never a problem. We had good referees back in the 80s. So I think if you really want to fix the problem, I don't believe technology is the way. I think you put the money into the profession, make refereeing a really lucrative job, so you get the cream of the crop wanting to come into it, and people want to come and do the job. At the moment, paid relative peanuts compared to multi-millionaire players, yet they have equal, if not more, impact on how a game goes. They're given that amount of responsibility, given the wage to go with it, encourage better referees into the game, get the standards up, do away with this absolute nonsense technology. All it does, at best, when they do get it right, it's slowed the game down massively. It's stopped being a spectator sport. It's like some televised drama with little advert breaks, isn't there? And I'll keep saying several times this season, I'm just waiting to the point where you'll see VAR sponsored by Domino's or something, and you'll go to a little ad break, and it's absolutely diabolical. Let the game flow. If there's going to be some mistakes, I'm cool with that. It used to be that way, and it was a great game. It was a great game. So I think too much money put into the wrong places in the sport now. What could be good is just corrupt at its worst, annoying at the best, and I think we're just seeing a decrease in value for money when watching this game, especially if you're the ones going to the ground. You can't even celebrate goals properly. That's something fundamentally wrong for me. You have to look over to check the screen nervously to see if a fantastic goal you scored is going to count or not. Nah, not for me. Get rid of it. Take a few mistakes along the way. People have been complaining, saying they want consistency throughout, and that's what VAR will bring. It hasn't. The only thing that's been consistent is the controversy. It's done absolutely nothing. Absolutely half-baked implementation, and it's again, the results of it are being interpreted by humans. So how much technology is that if you need a human to read the results?
Exactly.
It's like a gas
I know.
man coming in and putting an extra digit on your meter reading, isn't it? It's like, you know,
Yeah.
it just doesn't add up.
From what I gathered, the idea was to bring VAR in to stop decisions being subjective, but they're still subjective because the humans are making the final decision. I said on my show with Elly earlier, if a decision can't be reached in 30 seconds, it's not clear and obvious. So for me, limit should be 30 seconds. And if they can't come to a definitive conclusion, then it's not a clear and obvious error. I just think it is atrocious, and it opens up the whole game to corruption, even more so than referees, in my opinion. And Stell pointed out, we ended up playing 20 minutes extra time, 12 minutes from the first half, 9 minutes in the second half. I mean, that's ridiculous. We're going to have 2-hour game football matches soon. Do you know what I mean? I mean, Ben said before, it's getting home so much later because of all this extra time. It's just absolute madness. I've got nothing positive to say about it at all.
I think I heard the statistic. The first half lasted 57 minutes and the ball was in play for 21 minutes, I think.
Oh, I mean, it's just awful.
Ridiculous.
You know what is bad about VAR, which I didn't mention? Right, so they don't come to any decision once it's gone to Stockley Park, wherever they are, somewhere in the wilderness, right? And then it comes back and then they want the referee to go to the monitor. And he's looking at the monitor, not even really sure, because you can tell by the facial expressions, right? And he's taking time as well to look at the monitor. He looks it over and they're doing it in slow-mo as well, which makes it look really bad. Like Romero's tackle, it was a bad one, don't get me wrong, but it's worse in slow-mo because you can see the whole lot. But I'm just saying the referee takes time as well. So even he's undecided, and then he goes, "Oh, I'll just give it. Who cares? I want to get home."
Yeah,
it's just
agreed.
ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous.
Jim, what do you make of VAR? Your opinion on, is it ruining the game?
Well, do you want to hear something funny? Do you want to hear something funny first?
Oh God, what have you done?
Bobby K's gone for his meeting, and it's been moved till tomorrow. So
what a wally brain!
He's left to go. I just messaged him and told him he can come back on.
Yeah.
What a silly what's it?
VAR decision.
That's the sort of thing I do, though.
Anyway, Jim, VAR, is it ruining the game?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I quite wanted VAR when they were talking about it.
Just hold on 1 second, Jim. Jim, just hold on 1 second. We've got Hassam in. He is obsessed with Spurs, literally obsessed. Doesn't matter what Tottenham stream you find, Hassam appears, and he says that he's living rent-free in our heads, and yet he stalks Tottenham fans all over the interweb.
To be fair, he subscribes to me because I know him, don't I, from when I was on Twitter. But yeah, big up to Sam.
He's still got an odd obsession. I've been giving it to him today. Some very odd obsession with Tottenham. Yeah. He hasn't stopped crying, old Mr. Kleenex, since they Liverpool lost to us. So yeah, you crack on, Hassam. Carry on, Jim. Sorry.
I'm just going to say that winning against Luton isn't for everyone, Hassam. Just saying.
Yeah, right. Just saying.
What was the result again?
Don't go starting crying. Here's some tissue, Hassam, in case you need it. Jim, carry on. Sorry, Jimbo.
Yeah, I was quite for it because I thought it was going to be good. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
No, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I was quite for it, and but do you know what? I don't get the rules no more. I'm lost. Like yesterday when they scored their second goal, Sterling was behind our defenders, and Jackson was like 2 or 3 yards in front of our defenders. And Sterling come through, he come through, got past the defenders, and Jackson's running on, right? And he's got 3 yards on our defenders, but he was offside. And yet he passes it in the middle to him, and Jackson scores. And I think to myself, how can that be allowed? But it's allowed. I mean, I don't get it. I just don't get the rules no more. If you watch that goal again, He's way offside, Jackson. And I think to myself, just because he hasn't got the ball, I mean, I don't get the rules no more. I'm lost. When I was playing football, if there was two people right behind you, you wasn't offside. If there was only the keeper, you was offside. But now all these rules, I just don't get it. They said they was bringing in a rule at the beginning of the season where if any part of your body was behind the defender, you was onside. And now they're looking for toenails. You know, I mean, I just don't get it. It's spoiled the game. It's slowed it down too much. I'm still of the opinion that VDV don't pull his hamstring if we don't have all them stops. Stop, start. It's not like stop, start for 30 seconds. It's like 10 minutes, 5 minutes or whatever. I mean, it's ruined the game, absolutely ruined it. And the thing is now, will they take it out? No, of course they won't. You know, at least when the referee, there was just the referee and the linesman, they made a decision wrong and you saw it was wrong, you moaned for a day and then it was just forgotten. But now it's like every show you go on, they're talking about it on streaming, on TV, and so it's caused more problems than it was before. It's just a joke, an absolute joke. If I had my way, I'd scrap it completely, the whole lot.
There we go.
That's my rant.
And Mia, I'll let you finish this one.
Do you know what? I've got to agree with everyone. I think that it's just useless because what they do is they just basically stop and start games and they keep looking and looking. I'm with you, Kate. If it takes, say, 60 seconds, then to me, that's not clear and obvious enough. And we can go back to the ref and whatever the ref decides is what you do. And then if there isn't if there is something they looked at, then the ref should go over and have a look at it. So then the decision goes back to the referees. That way, the referees are the ones who are deciding. And that way, it's still going to be subjective. Absolutely. Is there still going to be mistakes? Yes. But at least now it'll be down to the ref and done quicker because unfortunately it's never going to go, which is annoying because all of us know how bad it's failing us. Every team has times where it fails us, but I just go, listen, it basically happened. I don't really get too upset about it. But I can understand the frustrations with people because it is just ridiculous. The amount of time, because everyone in the stadium is saying that you don't get told. So you're in that, imagine like yesterday for you, Elly, you're standing around wondering what the heck's going on for all these minutes. It's ridiculous. There's no communication. The lack of communication telling people what's going on in the stadium, I think, is the biggest issue with VAR. I think it's disgusting. You go to a game, it's stopping for like 6-7 minutes and you don't even know why. What the heck's going on? You have to go on your Twitter to go and see, or some sort of social media to see what's going on. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Do you know what was bad as well, right? So remember Basuma got sent off for diving, didn't he? He faked a dive. He gets sent off in the middle of the park or just past the middle. He gets sent off. Sterling dives deliberately in the penalty box, doesn't even get a yellow card.
Yeah.
That's double standards in my book.
There's no consistency
as well. So that's even worse than what Basuma did.
Yeah. I agree. There's no consistency. That's one thing I'm sure everyone would agree on. But I don't think there'd be any. Yeah.
Sorry, darling. Can you just bring Mark's thing back up? The one before this?
Yeah.
Well, I understand what he's saying there, but what I don't understand is if the guy's 3 yards, 2 or 3 yards in front of our defenders towards the goal, right? That's such an advantage. And I don't understand why that's onside. I don't get it.
I must admit, no, because I watched it with you and we rewound it 3 times. I don't know the rules anymore for offside.
It's because he's deemed not to be interfering with play.
Yeah, but he's still got what? So that means he can go up another 3 yards.
Because he's not like Sterling's gone through, then Jackson's gone through, so he's not seeking an advantage when the ball is played. You see what I mean? That's how
I understand what you're saying, Elly. But he was way in front of Sterling as well, and I don't get it. Honestly, I'm lost with the rules. Never used to be like that.
They've made it. Sorry, go on, Mia.
Yeah, I agree with the comment a minute ago that said it's supposed to just help the referees make, like, if there's an error. That's what I was saying. It should always it should go back to the referee, and they should just have a certain amount of time, check it. Is there an error? Yes or no. If they can't find one, that the ref's decision's what's final. I think that would stop all this nonsense with taking so bloody long with all these decisions.
One of my favourite ever football quotes of all time. The legendary great Brian Clough, and he just said, "If a player isn't interfering with play, then what's he doing on the pitch?"
I love that quote. I know.
That's so true.
You know, the thing is, you can't goal hang. The offside is brought in so people can't just goal hang, right? They have to be clever with their runs. So if they're level with the last defender, they're onside. But if their toenail is ahead of the last defender, they're offside. So, you know, it's just swings and roundabouts. There's not enough good decisions, even with VAR.
No.
So the problem is VAR was brought in to make those decisions clear and obvious, but they're not, because humans are involved. And like you said, Mia, it's subjective. It is. When you've got four eyes looking at one thing, because they've got two in Stockley Park, then you've got the referee as well, and two linesmen. They're called assistant referees now. Why are they called assistant referees? Just call them bloody linesmen. Why do they have to put in all this stupid terminology on football as well? But I just don't get it. It's spoiling the game. It really is.
Yeah, and I agree with kind of what Jim said. The rules change that often that no one actually knows the rules. The handball rule, no one knows. Even managers don't know anymore what the handball rule is. It used to be.
I used to love the simplicity of the old school way of handball. Is it had to be, your hand had to move towards the ball.
Exactly.
And it had to be deliberate. Yes, it was subjective, but you could rule out a lot of these nonsense ones that are given when players clearly can't move their arm out of the way because it's attached to their body, and yet they're still giving them a handball. It was easy. It was simple.
And it's ruining the defending as well, because a lot of you see them, they all put their arms behind their back because they're shit scared. Yeah. They're shit scared that it's going to hit their arm and they're going to give handball for it. Oh.
Yep. Well, I think it's fair to say that we all agree that VAR is indeed ruining the game. Wasn't much of a debate there because we all in total agreement. Mia, I'll let you take the next one.
Oh, what's next for Tottenham? Will we rise or will we fall? Because a lot of rival fans are saying this is it now. This is our downfall. We're going to end up dropping off massively because of the injuries. I agree with you, Jim. But that is what is being said. So, Elly, what do you think? Do you think it is the fall of us? Do you think this could be what with the injuries as well? Don't forget we have got quite a few injuries now, and we've also got suspension. So the Palace game lineup is going to be a very interesting one. Wolves lineup is going to be very interesting, ain't it? So see what we'll actually be able to do with all those players out. So yeah, do you think this is our downfall, Elly?
Yeah. Sorry, because Paul Beatty, the hospital, if he's trying to phone me.
Well, tell him to bog off. Tell him you're doing a show then. Rude.
No, I didn't answer. I'll phone him after.
Pretend you're right.
Like the beach fest, I think. What was the question?
What was the
rise or fall?
Yes.
We're gonna rise like the Phoenix. Glory, glory, Tottenham Hotspur. That's what we are. We're gonna go up. We're never gonna go down. We're second by 1 point only. Right? We've got Wolves next, Aston Villa, and Man City. If we get 9 out of 9, I'm going to be like dancing in the streets of Tottenham. I'm telling you. But everybody's expecting us to fall off, aren't they? They really are. All the fans are giving it. They're really giving it to us, which is going to make this team even stronger, right? Because they read social media as well, not just us, right? And they're going to see all the other rival fans putting our club down, and they're going to fight for Ange because they really believe in this man. you can tell when we went down to 9 men, they were like fighting for their lives for this guy who's come into our club like a breath of fresh air, and he's made us relevant. Everybody's talking about us. We're in everybody's mouth. Even Hossam's come onto our stream tonight. You see? So no, we're going to rise. We're Tottenham Hotspur. We dare to do. Yeah, we do to dare to do. And like, I think we just got to calm down, go on the pitch and let our football do all the talking. That's what I say.
Oh, go on the pitch. I misheard you.
That's what I thought.
We can go on the pitch as well.
I think I'm going to know what Kuva's going to say, but go on, Kuva. Give us another political broadcast.
No, you probably guessed wrong then. I've said earlier in the season I thought we could win the title, but it is dependent on a hell of a lot going our way. We had to stay injury-free. We had to have decisions go our way in games. We had to avoid suspensions, and loads of things had to fall right for us because it was a long shot. It really was. Right now, that long shot is looking just a little bit harder because we are now going to be missing big players, important players for 3 important games coming up. And all of our success this season, despite all the plaudits that are going there for Maddison and Sonny, and quite rightly too, it's been built on Romero, Van der Ven, and Vicario for me. That's been the foundation for our doing anything, because in previous seasons we would fall apart when put under pressure. They're the ones that have been consistently picking up the slack this season. Those games like the well fought out win at Luton in previous seasons, we probably would have crumbled and fallen there, but we didn't. We held on. We showed our resolve at times, and these 3 are absolutely crucial to it. Now, to be fair, Dyer and Højbjerg did really well last night when they came on, and fair play to them, but they're not the ideal candidates for the job. We'd found our way of playing. Now we've got to find a different way. We've got to kind of make up for the fact that Van der Ven's recovery pace is no longer there. Unfortunately, there won't be a Udogie to slide in there to help with that, because he's pretty quick as well. So we're going to be more reliant on Porro, I think, as that last man back with it, use his pace. It's going to affect our team. We've suddenly become a little bit more awkward in terms of how we're going to play. On the other hand, and this is the positive spin, I look at what Brennan Johnson was doing. I think he's really adding something to that attack. We're looking more dangerous. So perhaps those defensive frailties can be overshadowed by the fact that the forward line is looking a little bit more dangerous. Perhaps we'll make up for the occasional extra goal let in by scoring another one. I don't know how it's going to go in these next few games. All I know is a few weeks ago, I was looking at that Man City game and my mouth was watering. I was thinking, let's go there, full strength City, and just see what we can do, really test ourselves. And now that's not going to happen. We're going to have to go there with a patched up team. I think the dream just became a little bit more distant for me, but it's still there. If we do find a way in these next 3 games, some of those players are coming back then. If we do manage to fight and claw our way there to January, maybe we do get some reinforcements that help us on our way. You only need to have the odd 1 or 2. Even one player comes in. If it's a brilliant creative player that, unlocks games for us where previously we were struggling, that's the sort of thing that can turn you into a genuine contender again. But look up, people always say it's, an anomaly, the Leicester season. But you look at what they did. They first started off as a incredibly difficult to beat team from the season before. That run-in they had there, they were turning everybody over. And they added the likes of Mahrez, and Vardy came to the front, and Kante was unbelievable. If we can pick up somebody like that, somebody's had the same effect they do, or somebody's had the same effect Van der Ven has had for us. That kind of calibre of player, we're not looking at spending 100 million, that's not going to be us. But if we can get in one of those little, 20, 30, 40, it doesn't matter what the cost is. If it's the right player and they just come and they arrive, feet hit the deck running, and they slot in and exactly what we need, I think there's enough team spirit and enough about the manager to do something with this. So it's not over yet, but I think we are going from outsiders to win the league to slim outsiders at the moment. It's stacking up against us. It's difficult to overcome. And if it was just down to the fact of it, competing with Arsenal or Chelsea or Man United and that, I wouldn't be worried about it. But Man City are a little bit special, aren't they? I think it's going to be very difficult. And if we just fall a few too many points behind them at this stage, we're not going to be catching them. I think that's the harsh reality. Things didn't go our way. Let's keep plugging away, see what happens though, because their wheels could fall off too. Look what happened when Rodri was missing. They lost 3 out of 4 games. So they're not invulnerable either. You need things to win a league. You still need things to go your way, no matter how good you are. So I think it's more in the laps of the gods now than it is in our own hands. But let's keep plugging away. I'm delighted with the way we've done things this season. Big Ange is taking us in the right direction. Come January, it'll be up to you, Mr. Levy. Do your job then. If that happens, could be happy days.
Yep.
So what about you, Jimbo? What are you saying? What's next to Tottenham? Will we rise or fall?
I'm on the same boat as Kuva. I'm not going to give up hope on it, but it has kind of put a big dent in it. But you know what? As I said earlier, Ange's worked with these players for a few months. Let's see what he's done with them. Let's see how they come on and perform. And at the end of the day, they're fighting for their place. So if they get in there, they're not going to want to be going back out again. Let's see what they can do. We can't really say anything until we see what happens over the next few games, But it's as Bobby Kuva said, it's going to be massively hard now. But we've got 3 games, like he said, and then we've got players coming back. So I trust Ange. I really believe that he would have done some work with these players and got them up to speed. They're not going to be the speed of VDV and Udogie, but let's see what happens. They've got a good spirit amongst them. They're all fighting for each other. You saw when the subs come on, they were all fighting for each other. So let's just see what happens over the next few games, and then we'll take it from there. But I'm convinced that in January, we're getting new players in early. I think within the first 10 days, they'll all be in who we're going to buy. I think they've got it all lined up.
I think the thing I've forgotten to mention as well was it's also now presented an opportunity that we were talking about at the beginning of the season, and that's for some of those youngsters to step up. Ashley Phillips, what if he comes into the team now, takes his opportunity and shines for us? It's possible. He's not got a lot of experience, certainly at top level. He hasn't got any experience, but we bought him because he's got talent. He's certainly got the physical attributes for it. Maybe that's our surprise package. Maybe that's the one that saves us a fortune in the January transfer window, that we can then spend that money on another area of the team that needs improving. So I'm not going to rule any of that out yet. There's hope. There is hope. It's not all's lost. As I know Jim agreed with me. It's more difficult than it was now, but we're still in that.
But yeah. And the thing is, as well, Kuva, he's had some of the younger players in the first team, and they've been training with the first team, so have them up to speed. And it's just hope they can come on, and we might have some gems in there. It takes something like this to see that.
I can put another analogy on it, right? So we've had a Rolls Royce, right? We've got the Rolls Royce or the Bentley, and now we've got to go to a full Capri. So we have to make sure that full Capri's got plenty of fuel in it, and it's looking pretty, because it's never going to be a Rolls Royce or a Bentley. But we can makeshift patch up work with a clever coach who will be working hard with these players already, and he'll work even harder now because he knows that he's lost a lot of speed from our defence. So it's a patch-up job, but it can be done.
Yeah.
You see how I used the full Capri there? Because that's the old bag my husband had when I was getting married.
I know that you, Kate, are a bit more like me when it comes to where we think we'd finish, like in the league, etc. So, what's your thoughts then? What's next for Tottenham? Will we rise or fall?
I don't want to be the voice of doom, but I think this is going to be a really tough time for us over the next 6 weeks. We've got some awful games coming. Villa, Wolves. Thank God they haven't got Neto, but even they've still got some danger men out there. Villa, Newcastle, Man City. To have players like Van der Ven missing, it's just everything's gone wrong at once. I mean, Richarlison's going in for an operation. Not like that's any real loss, but you know what I'm saying. Brent Johnson, he looks the real deal. I think Angie's not going to have a choice but to try some of these young players. But if we're still sat in the top 4, in fact, I'll say the top 5 by January the 1st, I will be over the moon. That's my aim. Any type of Europe this season was my expectations at the start of the season. I said 8th, but I said I would like to get into any sort of Europe. From being at the top, I'll be disappointed now if we didn't. But for us to say, we've got through it, we need to still be in the top 5 come January the 1st. And I can't sit here with full confidence to say I think that will happen. It will be a case of just waiting and seeing. But, Ange knows what he's doing. So let's hope he gets it right. What about you, Mia?
Yeah, I think, Joe, what? He normally comes good in the second season, Ange. So I think he's
4 points.
What?
What's happened?
Jim, what?
Was that? Is it me sticking? Is it me sticking?
Yeah.
Oh, but I was sticking. I couldn't. Everybody froze. We're 4 points away from 5th. So.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, let Mia finish.
So.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
We can hear you loud and clear. We can hear you.
So, I think for me, my expectation hasn't changed. Right. So, I've stuck to my expectation.
Everybody's stuck.
Jim, go out and go back in.
Come back in, yeah.
We're frozen to him.
I think for me,
good bit of in and out usually helps.
Kuva, behave yourself.
It does.
Send my son down.
Send
my tech ex.
More in than out.
Can I just get on with it? You stop behave yourselves. We're going to look at the show otherwise. Kuva.
I said nothing.
Kuva, you're making me laugh. Oh.
Yeah, so for me, expectations hasn't really changed. So I don't think there's really anything to be. I'm not really concerned because my expectation was 6th, 7th. If we manage to get 5th, that would be amazing. But I think that we are going to have a few bumpy games. We've got City, and we're not going to have Van der Ven or Romero for that one. That's going to be I thought we're going to have. I said a draw at best. Now I'm a bit like, oh my God, that is going to be awful. So
like this.
I'm going to the Aston Villa game, so I'm hoping it's a good game when we play Villa as I'm going. Their away form isn't that great, so I'm hoping that still sticks. But yeah, I think we're going to have I said, but be prepared for bumps in the road. I said that all along. So I'm already prepared for it, and so I'm not too concerned. But I still think 6th, 7th is like a good year considering he has just come in. So I don't think we're going to fall or rise to the top. No, but I feel like we're going to be reasonable. And I said that from the start. So.
Yeah. Do you see that comment? Comedy gold by Jim.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, so dolly. He's just so dolly. I think before we carry on with our subjects, I better go to the questions because we've got quite a few questions come in. So I think we should address them. Nita says, Porro, I rate him. What do you think about him on the panel? Mia, I'll go to you first. You're next to me.
I really like Porro. I think he gets a lot of stick. I think he's done defensively a lot better than anybody could have predicted. And yes, he has his mistakes every now and again. But overall, I'm really impressed with him because when he goes forward, he has not got a foot on him. Where he kicks that ball, that he can cross a ball beautifully. So I think that he's got a lot to offer going forward. And defensively, like I say, he's been a lot better than anybody imagined. So yeah, I like Porro.
Elly?
Yeah. I want him unleashed, right? Because that's a defender. I like him because he's got good recovery. He's full spirited. He's got that Spanish, you know. But
yeah, did you see him? Did you see him last night when he got that free kick and he was like out to the crowd? I loved it. I was like, yes, Porro.
Come on. I love that. I love that spirit, right, about him. But I think we're losing him. Where Kulu is, that's where he should be. Because he's much more effective than Kulu, right? And then switch Kulu to what we said before, in the middle, right? But you've got to lose a player in the middle then. That's the problem. But I just want to see Porro flipping, flying down that wing like Aaron Lennon used to do. But he's got an end product. Aaron Lennon, however good he was, he didn't always have that end product. But Porro, he can put it on a sixpence like Perisic. That free kick that he did when we scored for Dyer, that was beautiful. That was poetry in motion. So I want to see more of that. But I think what Ange thinks, this is my own personal opinion, right? I think he feels that he can mould him into a right wing back, right? But I don't know. I just feel like I don't like him. I don't like him defensively. I prefer him attacking, like progressive. He's much better, and we'll see the best of him then. Yeah, but I do love him. I think he's fantastic.
Bobby, what's your thoughts? Bobby, I've just read Bobby's comment.
It's the tan, isn't it? That's what does it.
Oh my God! Yeah, the similarity between you two is uncanny.
No,
what do you make of
I'm
Porro?
happy to be called Bobby. That's fine. That's fine.
What do you make of Porro?
Porro, last season, I remember being in a pretty lonely corner fighting his case, and when the conversation came up about Emerson or Porro, and people were saying Porro can't defend. I just remember making the comment, and I stuck with it vehemently, no matter what. You can teach Porro to defend. You can't teach Emerson Royale to be a great footballer. Porro's a great footballer. He can attack. He can put the ball on the sixpence. Great deliverer of the ball, as we saw with the free kicks later in the game. He's got pace. He can get up the pitch. He can support. He's got recovery pace at the back. He's getting better defensively. I think he's one of our most underrated players at the moment. He really is worth everything, every plaudit he can get. I think I understand with the idea of putting him up on the right wing slot. It's not necessarily a bad plan. But for me, I'd prefer to see we get a real game-changing right winger and have Porro assisting him from behind. I think if you get two bombing down that wing, it's going to create all sorts of problems. Much the same as the doggy. You could play him further up the pitch, but I like him being a wing back because he covers all of that area, and he pops up all over the place. So you get those extra players up the front with the creativity, the eye for a goal, the bits that Kulusevski is not consistently doing, basically. It's funny enough, Kulusevski, I thought, had a really good game yesterday because of the circumstances and what he need, just to him be able to fight for the ball and win it back. It's an underrated part of the game with forwards winning the ball back in the opposing half. It's a big key to how we're succeeding. But for me, Porro, he's got it all. I think he's the way he looked like he turned his ankle over, but he soldiered on, no problem. And as rightly pointed out, when he started cheering up the crowd as well, I just thought, yeah, you've nailed it, son. You really have nailed it. I've got a real soft spot for him. Always will have for wing backs, though. It was my favoured playing position. So when I spot a good one, I'm quite happy to sing their praises. And him and Udogie, I think, been fantastic for us this season.
Yeah. Going on about what you said about Kulu, I mean, we've spoke about this loads. Should they switch Kulu and Johnson? Ben's very against it. I know Ben in the chat, because he said that he leaves Porro exposed. But for me, I'd love to see him switch, even if they switch mid-game, just to confuse the opposition. I mean, I don't know what everyone else thinks about it.
That's why Ange doesn't do it. I think he keeps Kulu on that side because he helps Porro so much. He's such a hard worker, but he goes unnoticed sometimes with Kulu, and he gets a lot of stick, but he backtracks, he double banks, you know, and he helps Porro so much. And I think that's why Ange is reluctant to move Kulu on the left and put Johnson, because Johnson's not going to do the hard graft like Kulu does. Kulu gives that balance on the right, and he holds the ball up very, very well. And if you've got the ball, they can't score. You know, that's what I say. Possession. You have the ball, no one can score against you. And he is really good at keeping the ball. He's got the best stats in the league at keeping the ball.
Anyone else want to say anything more about that question before I go on to the next one?
What was the question?
Oh my God.
Welcome back, Jim.
What was the question?
Should they swap Kulu and Johnson?
Yeah, I'd like to see it. Just see how it pans out.
Oh, well, thanks for your contribution to that, Jim.
You're welcome.
Mark CFC says, do you think it was a little statement to Levy to go, I want to do this, but not with this mob? Effing help me. I don't think that was any sort of statement. He played his best team, and I think stupidness let us down. But I don't know if anyone feels any different. I don't think there was any statement in there. No. Anyone? No?
No, I agree. I think this is what Ange does. That's why I love him. Just he's going to back in football no matter what, and he doesn't sacrifice his principles. I love that. Absolutely love it. Been crying out for an attacking manager for years. We've got it now. I'm not going to criticise him or doubt him. I think he's doing a fantastic job for us.
Yeah. Kevin Williams and Adrian both asked the same question. Do you think these long-winded VAR decisions affected the players in terms of them being warmed up? I'm thinking of Van der Ven's hamstring. I think, it's been talked a lot about today. Mia, I'll let you go.
From as far as I'm aware, because I do go gym and stuff, what happens is when your muscles are warm, they stretch, and what happens when they are cold, they ping back again. So if you're not warm and you try and run, because your muscles already contracted back, you're going to pull a muscle. So that's why you do warm downs after you do exercise. Otherwise you'll pull a muscle, because where it cools down. And that's why a lot of the time athletes, they do the really cold baths, because it shrinks them back quicker, so then they don't pull a muscle. So it shrinks their muscles back quickly and cools them down quicker, because they lengthen as they get warm. So
Jim's kissing the cat. Oh my God. Leave the cat alone.
Can we not have one of those kind of conversations? Listen, you're giving me too many opportunities to say things.
He's missing the nerve.
I'm being good.
I've just been a pussy.
So that's where he disappeared to.
I knew that was coming.
Nita said, why did Ange get a yellow card last night? From what I heard, are you serious, Michael Oliver, is what he said. I remember him getting it. I'm not sure why. I think he was gobbing off, but I don't know to what extent. Anyone know?
He came out of his technical area.
That's what he said.
He came out of his technical area.
Okay, that makes sense. So there you go, Nita. It's because he came out of his technical area. Chris O'Rudden said, where should the January transfer window focus? I'm going to ask perhaps everyone to give the two positions, because I don't think we'll probably get more than two. But let's say two positions you think we need. I'll start with Jim on this one.
Defender.
What, centre back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Striker.
That's 2.
That's your 2.
That's all you're allowed, so don't be greedy. Cooves?
Right wing, left back.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go showing a little bit. Although we need a central defender, but I don't see the point in going out and splashing big money on one on January if they're just going to be sat on the bench.
Yep, I get that. Elly, what are you thinking?
Striker, 100%. And I would have said another right wing back to give Kulu competition, because he's quite safe in that position, isn't he? But now we've lost the defender Van de Ven for quite a lengthy time. I'd say, yeah, left centre back.
Okay, Mia.
A centre back and a left centre back. I think left side centre back and creative midfielder. So that way, if we haven't got Maddison, or if we want to change it, somebody who's maybe slightly different to Maddison can come on and create for us.
Yeah, I'd go a left back. Are you calling me, Jim?
No.
No. Oh, sorry. I'd go a left.
You're there.
I don't know. A left back and yeah, probably a right wing, maybe a left wing. I don't know. There's I don't like our wingers, but then Johnson's not. I would like to see Johnson on both sides. Like, obviously not at the same time, because that's impossible. But just to see where his best side is, and yeah, I mean, we could do with 4 or 5. Let's be fair. I've already said I'd like a striker, but we was only allowed 2. So big up, David Shear.
You're just obsessed with getting as many Johnsons in as possible, aren't you?
Kuva, you're so rude. What do you take me for?
Kuva loves a BJ. I mean,
obviously. David says, big up thank you for the super chat. Says, does Kulu replace Maddison? Lo Celso is not for this team, I feel. Who wants to go first?
I think, yeah.
Shall I go?
Yeah, go on,
Yeah.
Jimbo.
You go, Jim. Go on.
Yes, I would love to see him in the middle. I really would. 1,000,000%. Yes.
Yeah.
That's my answer.
Has anyone got an alternative answer, or do we all agree? Because I'd love to see Kulu back in the middle, because that's where he played under Mason, and he looked a bit warm in the middle.
Yeah. And I think he'll be really good, not just in the middle. I think he'll be good behind the strikers, because he did that yesterday. You noticed that he roamed and he was in the middle a lot.
Yeah.
He came away because I think Ange told him as well. It was directly, he told him directly, don't stay on the right. Right. So I think he's got all the skill and the holding ability and the vision, you know, and it is wasted on the wing sometimes because they double bank on him. And sometimes they even put 3 players on him because they know he's a threat. And it's hard for him. It really is tough on that wing because he lacks pace as well. Whereas in the middle, you don't necessarily have to be fast because you've got more time on the ball. And I think he can pin some passes for us and be very creative from that position.
Yeah, I agree. Steve D said, can you ever remember being so engaged in a game like that?
No.
Battle of the Bridge.
I don't think I was engaged. I think I was terrified.
I agree.
I was absolutely terrified.
But do you know what? It was one of those games, I've got to say, just until that, like Kuva said, till that they went 3-1, I honestly thought we was in it the whole time. I thought we're going to get something from this game. I'm not even worried, even though we only had 9 men.
Joe, it's a weird one, though.
Go on, Mia.
Yeah, it's a weird one because I was like that as well. I thought we could do something, but I was also like terrified of what's going to happen next because everything was so chaotic. It's a bit like on one of those like rides, you've never been on it before, so you know what's going to happen and like what's coming around the corner on the roller coaster. And that's what it kind of felt like, a really roller coaster game. But afterwards, you're just like, okay, I've come out of it alive. And that's kind of how I felt.
Mm.
Yeah, I know what Steve D means by that, because like being at the stadium as well yesterday, it's like you really are fully engaged with the game. You don't know what's going to happen. All these things were happening, and it's like it took all of your emotions to get through it, right? And at the end, I was exhausted, but I still had the presence of mind to clap the team at the end because you really appreciated what they did. For each and every player, they fought for one another, right? And you were fully engaged with that part of the game. You know, all the other shenanigans which was going on, right? It was like a shell shocker. Like you think one thing happens, then another thing happens, then Van de Ven pulls up, and then Madders falls over, and you're thinking, what's going on? And then all the VAR decisions. So you're fully engaged in what's happening, but you just really confused. It was confusing as well at a lot of times. You're thinking, what, why is this happening? It made you feel sick and joyous at the same time because you're really invested in the team to do well with 9 players, you know, and it takes you to another level as a fan. Those fans in the stadium were incredible last night.
Yeah.
They were absolutely incredible. And I saw a comment earlier saying they likened it to when we beat Arsenal 3-0. I say it was better because we were all invested into teams to do well, right? And we lost the game, but it was like we won it. Do you know when we beat Inter Milan? We lost to Inter Milan 4-3. It was like that. It was like that. Like we lost 4-1, but it was like we won the game. That's how I felt at the end anyway, with a lot of fans around me.
Yeah. This is an interesting. What Spurs player currently playing would you take back to Spurs? For me, I'm going to go in there straight away and say Modric.
Of course.
That's me.
Luka Modric, 100%. Only one I can think of that I would 100% take.
Yeah.
I'll have Kane back in a flash. I think it's.
Oh yeah, Kane. I forgot him.
No, I still have Modric over Kane.
Oh. I forgot Kane. Can you believe it?
Kane. Can we have them both, please?
No, one, Elly.
All right, I'm being greedy. Typical Greek. Right, I'd have Modric as well, just for the pure skill and the vision and the tenacity, the passing ability.
Yeah. I think both in their prime, I probably would take Modric as well. But Modric is in his twilight now.
Quite old, isn't he? But he's still producing. 5 champions.
What do you mean quite old? He's only 2 years younger than me, you bloody cheeky beggars.
Was he 37 now? Is he 37 or 38? He's one of the
He's
two.
like 38, so he's only a few years younger than me.
I think he's the sort of player who can play till he's 42.
Would yours be Kane? Would yours be Kane, Jim?
Yeah, last time I saw Modric play, he walked on the pitch with a walking stick. I would take Kane 100%.
Yeah. I can't believe I forgot him. Who is this Kane you speak of? Last subject we'll cover tonight, because of the interest of time, was the post-match comments from Ange and Sonny. I'll put up Ange's ones first of all. Obviously, he was addressing the High Line. He said, "It's just who we are, mate. It is who we are and who we will be for as long as I'm here. If we go down to 5 men, we will have a go. It's pretty hard to process. It's almost impossible to analyse the game because it just seemed to get out of control for large parts of it. Disappointed by the result, but really proud of the players. They gave everything, and that is the positive we will take. We were very close to getting an equaliser a couple of times, and it shows their spirit. It was just a bridge too far." Kuva, the inspirational and motivational speaker, I shall go to you first, and what you make of Ange's comments.
Let's just sit here and just enjoy it. Just read it again. I'm fine with that. It's everything I love hearing about. It's my idea of how you approach games. You're supposed to play, having a go at teams. I hate all this passive sit back and being scared of opponents. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are. I would never sacrifice attacking football. Never. I'm bitterly against even dribbling the ball up into the corner flag to run down time when you're winning in a cup final or something. I'm all for playing at all times. It's what the beautiful game should be all about. For Ange to come in and just say that, no, he's not taking it. If you don't like what he does, you'll have to just get rid of him. And for me, I think he's the best thing that's happened in years for us. Yeah, I really do. Yeah. I think he's going to prove to be a better manager for us than Pochettino was.
Yeah,
I honestly believe that.
Yep, Jimbo.
That could be me talking, Kate. What have I said to you about the corner flag? How much I hate it. I hate that, Kuva. You know, the football's football. All this taking in the corner for 3 minutes and all that. I hate all that. And I said to you, Kate, exactly the same as what Kuva just said. I think he's going to end up a legend at Spurs. I really do. And I think we will 100% win things with this guy. I just think that he's got it. And was he flustered when we lost? No. Did he moan about stuff? No. Just his normal self. Yeah. I love the guy. I love how he speaks when you read what he says and when you're listening to him on the telly. You know, and I'm actually really looking forward to the next game. I'm really looking forward to it, to see who's out there, what he's done with them. You know, I'm looking forward to it. I'm not sitting here thinking, oh my God, well, the next game we ain't got so and so. I'm looking forward to seeing how we perform and who's on the pitch.
Yeah, Mia, what did you make of Ange's comments?
Do you know what? I think it's just typical Ange, isn't it? Like, I just think every time he talks, it's just him. I think that's the thing. Like, you don't expect anything less from him. He's just like so cool about everything. He's just relaxed. He doesn't really like moan about stuff. He's just like, it is what it is, mate. That's how we play, mate. You know, like he's just got such a way about him. I just love everything he said. Honestly, I just want to hug him more. Every time I see his face and when he talks about it, I just want to be like, oh, I just love you. Like, it gives me that feeling where, do you know what? As much as I did love Poch, like, I'm not going to say that I didn't. I loved Poch when he was with us. He never gave me that feeling. And it just gives me that feeling. I can't explain it. But I just absolutely love him. I just want to hug him and squeeze him every time he speaks because he's just amazing. The way he says things, I just think he's got a way about him. And I think it is something small. I think it is something special. I'm not going to lie. But I've said that for a while. I think there's something special in Ange. And everything he says is just perfect. It's just Ange, isn't it? It's just Ange. Like, you can't expect anything less from him.
Yeah. Elly?
Yeah, what can I add? If you strip everything that he said, you strip it all down, it just comes to one thing, that this man has got what it takes to lead us to success, because he doesn't take no bullshit. He doesn't take nobody criticising him. He'll stand up for his club. Look what he says at the end, their spirit. That spirit comes from inside of him as well, because the way he coached this team, we played some fantastic football yesterday. There was moments of brilliance, right? And we shot ourselves in the foot, but Ange will go on that training pitch and he'll drill them. And like, I just got every faith in him, everybody. I've got every faith in him to deliver some silverware to us as well, because he's a winner. Everywhere he's gone, he's been a winner, right? And look, he says it is almost impossible to analyse the game because you couldn't. It was like up and down emotions, you know. But what he'll do, because he's such a diligent manager and he knows exactly what makes players tick, he'll be lifting all those players and saying to them, look, you can go out and prove a lot of people wrong now. Now we've got all these damages to our team, right? We can prove a lot of these people are doubting us. And I've got every faith in this man delivering That's why I said we can go on and still win the league because of this man. I've got 100% faith in him.
Yeah, I concur with everything you all have said. I think he's true to himself. He's not going to change. And, you know, I just love his humility and the fact that he backs his players. He never chucks them under the bus. He takes a lot of, if there's something that went wrong, he will take the criticism for it. I think it's a breath of fresh air. And I agree with, I think it was Kuva and Jim and probably everyone actually who said that he's the best thing to happen to Spurs for a very, very, very long time. Sonny's Instagram post was, your support last night was incredible. We felt so much of your energy and atmosphere in the stadium. We made mistakes as a team, put ourselves in a tricky position. But hey, we will learn from these mistakes. We will bounce back and we will be stronger together. I wake up this morning proud of the boys, proud of you, the supporters, and excited to get straight back to work. Come on, you Spurs. For me, absolute captain's words. I thought it was a wonderful, heartfelt statement. I've got nothing but love for Sonny. What did you make of it, Mia?
Joe, what I think as well, it's not this, oh, we lost, we'll go again. I felt like it wasn't trying to make excuses. He wasn't trying to kind of, go back on what happened. He was basically being really true to himself. I feel like that I didn't think he was going to be a good captain. I put my hands up and said I didn't think he would be, but he is a really, really good captain. And I just think that he has got something about him that I think he gets on so well with all the players. I think they've got a lot of respect for him. And I think, big up to him for coming out. Like I say, he didn't try and make excuses, where some players, they might have been a little bit more, like I say, we'll go again. We'll try harder next time. But he was bigging up the supporters, first of all, which just shows the change in mindset, because I think that the fans, they're always been spoken about by Ange and now by Sonny. So I think that, he's obviously thought about that in his post. And I just love to see your captain come out and say something like that, really.
Yeah. Big up David Shear, who's just gifted 5 Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs memberships. Thank you so much. Anyone who was lucky enough to grab it, I think Beer Talk was definitely one. Make sure you say thanks to him. And a big up to Mick Dundee, who's just come in as well. Elly, what are your thoughts on Sonny's words?
Yeah, well, we've just seen it in our own chat. You know, like the people that back us as fans. Sonny loves us fans. He's always loved us, right? And he's papering over no cracks. He actually says we made mistakes. He's holding up his hands. Look, we made mistakes as a team. We work as a team. We battle hard. We come back stronger. Yeah? We're here. He's making himself accountable as well, right? But we know in Sonny, he will give everything for our club, right? So even I had doubts about him as a captain, because I thought he might not be a stronger personality, but he's proving us all wrong. He is. And like when he was on the pitch, I could see what he was trying to do. He was trying to tell the ref to take control of what's happening because it was getting out of hand. Yeah, so big up Sonny, man. What a player. What a player. And what a fantastic goal he scored. Just shame that bloody chalked off. That was the best goal of the season. Honestly.
It was a good goal.
Sublime. Yeah, and I think get straight back to work, because South Koreans in general, they're hard workers. They just get on with it. No crybaby stuff. Mm-hmm. No crybaby stuff. Just get back to work, get back on the wagon, get back on that train, choo-choo, and full steam ahead.
Coves, what did you make of our Sonny, the captain, and his words?
I think, first of all, just to cast your mind back to last season, and I think almost everybody was saying it, there's no connection with the club anymore, to the fans. I think that performance last night when we went down to 9 men and the crowd there at the ground in particular, they realised what was happening there and what exactly this team was giving to us. We watched our captain, every bit a part of everything that was happening with that 9-man performance. He ran his socks off for us. There was blood, sweat and tears. And he comes out with a statement like this where he is including everybody. There is the team element here. And he's appreciating the fans because he heard how much the fans were appreciating him and the team. That was real connection last night. That was the biggest thing I took from all of it, is the fact that we've got a team that works their pants off for each other. And we've got a crowd that now understands that and appreciates it and showed their love and admiration for it last night. There were roars from the crowd. I mean, people don't understand why they got a standing ovation, but when you know what you've just gone through and know what those players tried to do for you, I think they were worth that round of applause, that standing ovation, because how many times in previous seasons have we just not seen that? Nothing like it. It's back. We are back. This is a team in the making. We're a long way off the finished article, but my God, the foundations are going in. Even with a 4-1 loss, you could see it. So many positives to take from that last night. I think pick out so many of them. I said this was the massive one. It was the reconnect, but you could just as easily say Vicario. Oh my God, what a performance! You could say Ange's decision to flaunt his playing, his management style in the face of adversity and stick to his guns. I love that. Everything we're doing at the moment, I can see where we're going with it. I've got total belief in it. Last night just reinforced my belief. When you see a captain come out and make this kind of statement, I feel it. I really feel it. There's passion, there's commitment, but there's also a sense of responsibility, and he knows what they've got to keep doing. They'll fix it. They will fix it. All these mistakes that we did make last night, and there were plenty, we're going to improve on it. We're going places. And I smell silverware on the horizon. I really do. If it's not this season, soon, I'll just see this winning mentality going there.
Awesome. Jimbo?
Yeah. He's just a fantastic captain. He put you in the mud, Kate, so I've got to love him for
Massively.
that.
He did put me in the mud. I was fully doubted his ability as captain, and he smashed me out the park. Maybe look like right, Wally, but there you go.
Yeah.
That's not odd.
Well, he certainly stepped up when Kane went. And, as Kuva just said, the crowd last night, to lose 4-1 and get a standing ovation is absolutely massive. Massive. I mean, when we was watching the game, Kate, you never saw me moan, worry. I said to you, that's going to be the making of this team last night. Guaranteed. When Ange gets them all talking about it and showing them. Massive.
Yeah. And before anybody says we're happy clappers, we're not. We're appreciators of players that done blood, sweat and tears to get us a result and stuck by their guns and didn't sway from what Ange wants.
Joe,
I don't think... Go on, Mia, sorry.
Joe, I don't understand, right, is this thing where people feel like that if you say anything like that you haven't got standards for your team or for your club. But I don't think that's it. I think, Joe, what? We've shown such lack of fight in the past. We've crumbled. Look at the Newcastle game. We crumbled so badly. But Joe, what? With Ange, he doesn't allow that to happen. And I think that's that change in mentality that we're seeing. And we're just at the beginning, remember that. I feel like everybody's saying these things when Arsenal, at the beginning of their stages, they were finishing 8th, 5th, and then they've gone up. So the fact that Ange has done so well so quickly just shows that switch in mentality that's come so quick for us. So it's not happy clapping. It's not trying to say that we're not like, oh, we lost. 3 points, obviously, are 3 points. And the way that it happened, it all was a bit crazy. The game was just a madness, a mad game. But don't think for 1 minute that you have to that means we haven't got standards for our club. Like, it doesn't mean that we want to do stuff with our club, because we all do, and that's why it's good having Ange, because I do think I think he's the man. I think if he stays and he gets players, I can see us being an exciting team. If we play like that with that 5 in our belly with 9 men, imagine when we've got 11. Imagine when we've got 11 and they've fully clicked, and we've got that 5 in our belly to win for Ange. We're going to be an absolute force to reckon with, in my opinion.
I don't think there's been any happy clapping tonight. Not that there's anything wrong with happy clapping, by the way, but I don't think there has. I think we've just put it in perspective. It's one loss. Things went against us. Yes, there was some stupidity, but we fought like lions. And do you know what? People can say this is why Tottenham would never win anything. People can slag us fans off for being soft. People can say Ange is naive. They can say he's ignorant, arrogant, whatever they like. I like to see it. I like to see us fighting till the end, and we was within a whisker of pulling it off, you know. And, you know, we are a bit of an underdog story. We're sitting second in the league. Who'd have thought it? And, yeah, I'm enjoying it, enjoying the ride, and it's only going to get better.
I'll tell you what, Kate, it wasn't the fact that we lost last night that sort of put a dampener on things. It is purely those injuries and suspensions.
Yeah,
great.
It's going to harm. Do you know what? There's losing, right? There's losing with a whimper, like we did against Newcastle, where we didn't look interested. They had 5 goals within about 20 minutes, I think. It was like I was on my way to my daughter's that day, and I couldn't believe it. 5-0 down.
We literally had players laughing at each other about how bad it was, didn't we?
You know what I mean? But there's playing like yesterday, playing with spirit, strength, wanting to get back in the game. That's what you want to see. You lose, but you lose with your pride still intact.
Yeah, 100% agree. Oh yeah, I did start one question that just come in. Blah, 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 blah. 2 questions, sorry. When we go down to 10 men, we should have defended only for that reason. We got levered, and now we don't have the backup. Who have we got to replace the 3 defenders that were out? Well, we covered this earlier. We're all of the agreement that why should we defend? You know, this is Ange's way. People wanted Ange, and like I say, that they've got to take it that this is their way. As far as who replaces the defenders, I don't know what everyone's thoughts are. I think it's going to be a case of waiting and seeing.
Yeah. Well, they didn't take Phillips and Donnelly, and ironically, the under-21s lost 4-1 tonight.
Oh, really?
They were coming out in sympathy, you know. Yeah, they really did. So those 2 boys that are missing, Donnelly and Dorrington and Phillips, they're the ones, and Donnelly wasn't there. So they're the ones that might be on the bench, or if Ange is being even more braver, he might even blood 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's fair to say we should have defended. I think Ange done something different, and I don't think anyone's got any right to sort of question it. I know we didn't win, but that's just his philosophy, and that's what he's trying to implement into the football club. So why should he change that and just say, oh, well, I've changed it for this one game because we went down to 9 men? He's got to show consistency in his ethos, in my opinion. But sorry, Kuva, what was
as well?
Sorry.
There's another angle on that as well, right? When you defend, right, you hold a high line. That is skillful defending, because you've got to catch your opponent offside. So that's thinking with your brain, and you have to be very disciplined to do that. So that is good defending.
It was the combination of between that and knowing that Vicario was going to race out and do the sweeper keeper job. He was absolutely brilliant at it.
Brilliant.
Like I said, for the first 15 minutes, when we went down to 9 men, it was easy. We didn't have to face anything. They just couldn't deal with it at all. I was going to say anyway. The Lee's comment, Lee D. There, I was not calling him out or anything, but everybody that said we should have defended or played the low block and got everybody behind the ball. I don't recall hearing anybody say what they thought the result would have been if we did that. Because if it's anything other than getting a point, then it would have been a pointless exercise. And my counter argument will always be, you look at the players we were having to defend with when we're down to 9, Dyer, Højbjerg, Emerson Royale playing out of position. How did that do last season for us when we had 11 players on the pitch and playing with 3 central defenders? We were crap anyway. So I don't see how we could have done better by defending with players that prove they can't do it.
Yeah. I agree.
I've seen comments today on some other streams that he's a muppet, hasn't got a clue what he's doing, should be a championship coach. I've seen some real insulting comments towards him, and they knew when he come what he's going to do.
Yeah,
you know, and to be putting him down like that is disgusting. We played. He's walked into this club, right, and no matter what anybody says, this club was upside down and disarray when he walked in. Right, he's walked into this club. He's brought new players in. He's got them all to gel, right? And the football hasn't been fantastic from day one. We've had some spells of not so good, and we've had some spells of brilliance. But he's took us in 10 games to 8 wins and 2 draws. Now, how can you ever question him? And you can say people say it's luck, got a deflected goal. Well, every team has all luck and every team gets deflected goals. He has done absolute magic after 10 games. So can you imagine after 2-3 winders what this man can do?
Yeah. What's this? Coach of the month for Muppet. They are Sever called me clowns. What's that? Coach of the month for Muppet. I don't know what that means. I think I wonder if he will still get coach of the month.
Sever called him a clown.
What called David a clown or called Ange a clown? Oh right. I can't disagree with that, AJ. I can't disagree with that, my love.
I was just going to answer him. I'll answer him here, 100%. You know, and I'm going to say what other people say. If you don't want to back this club and you don't want to back the manager, and then don't watch the football and just switch it off and don't talk about it, because we should be backing. We've got a good manager now that's playing some good football. He's teaching this team his way, right? And I can't. After 10 games, we're top of the league with a new manager just walking in the club. We should be behind him, supporting him. We've seen the players working for us. They're playing for us as well as him. You know, they're always saying we want to make the fans happy. You know, get behind them, support them, keep putting them down. It's a right load of old crap.
I was a bit disappointed in what Glenn Hoddle said.
I can't. Oh, he gets on my nerves.
I'm disappointed with you, Glenn, if you're listening, right? Because you was a player who created. You were a player who played football on the front foot. Surely you should be backing front foot football and pressing and getting forward. Come on, Glenn.
Because I'll make this the last question because we've been going for 2 hours, 15 minutes. Don't time fly when you're having fun. Question to the panel. Do you feel sorry for Brennan Johnson that he had to get hauled off? He was playing so well. Hopefully he starts on Saturday.
Yeah, I think that's so sorry. A lot of fans are saying we shouldn't be. That was a big mistake, taking him off, because he was a real big threat. That ball Sonny was brilliant.
Joe, what the only thing I would say is that Ange couldn't predict what was going to happen, and we've got another man sent off at that as well. So I feel like that. I think Ange tried to do his best at the time on what he thought, and he probably thought it was better not to have that, is to have someone more secure like Kuva. So I kind of get it, and I do feel sorry for him though, because I think he's going to be a good player, Johnson. I think every time he's come on, he's looked really exciting. So I'd love to see more of Brennan Johnson.
100%.
Yeah, I think he was really unlucky as well. He looks a talent, doesn't he? He's doing the right things. So just purely circumstance. For me personally, I think the reason he kept Kulusevski on is because Kulusevski's got a good track record of winning the ball in the opponent's half. And when you're down to 9 men and trying to nick something, you've got to have that. It's the only way you're going to surprise them.
Yeah.
thank you, Steve D. That's exactly the sort of show we're going for. No happy clapping, no negativity, good, honest opinions. That's exactly what we've gone for. Yeah, so thanks everyone for being here. I mean, you've given us loads to talk about. I'll go round and just ask everyone, even though it's our show. I feel like I've hosted the show, which I don't like because it's the ladies' show, but I feel like I ain't shut up all night.
No. You're good at it.
Mia, when can we find you next? Please, everyone, before I forget, if you go over and sub to both our channels. This is Mia's channel, but that's for both of us, and I'll also put Kuva's up in a minute. But when are you on next, Mia?
I'm on tomorrow for my members stream at 10 a.m. UK time. So if you're a member, I'll be posting the link and you come on and have your say. I'm going to have plenty of debating topics for us to talk about. And yeah, you can come and join me. It was wicked last week, so I had Jimbo on, so it was nice to have him on my channel.
Thank you, Bobby K. Elly, when can we find you next, Queen Elly?
Oh, in about 1 minute after I get off this stream, because Southview Coys want me on. So I've got to do a runner. Come on, I'll do a porro. Woo!
She's here, she's there, she's every bloody where.
Queen Elly is wanted.
Yes, she's in demand. Kuva, when can we find you next?
Next, I'm supposed to be going on to the three Spurs boys to do a show that isn't Kuva and the Kang. So I'm going to do a sort of weekly roundup with the boys.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I think it's supposed to be after this, so I've probably got to do a runner as well, but we'll see. Other than that, it's Ben's coffee shop tomorrow for another edition in the afternoon of Brewing Bollocks. Where we
I love it.
Just get away from the heavy football talk and just a little bit of a laugh, bit of a giggle, bit of a wheeze. We don't have. It's not a big following, but it's a loyal following. It's my kind of chat. It's bit of fun.
And don't forget Kuva and Elly and Jim Bob. Actually, we've got our new show Friday night at 8, all about the banter, which is a slightly more relaxed show, a bit more like the BB over on Coffee Company. It's not going to be quite as intensely football related. I don't actually know what it's going to be about yet. It's scheduled for Friday, and I've no clue. So there will be something. Jimbo, I know when you're on next, but tell everyone when you're on next.
I ain't got a clue.
You're on tomorrow with me at 1 o'clock from Wedding Bliss.
1 o'clock tomorrow with Kate. Is it Wednesday tomorrow, is it?
It is, yeah.
Wedding Bliss tomorrow.
Remembered he's married.
I just got to say, to Kuva, you actually made Kate wee her pants on Saturday.
A little bit of weed did actually come out, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's the Jizzy the ferret. It gets me every time. I can't cope with it at all.
This time. That was Bobby K this time.
It's so funny. I actually wet my pants as well.
Oh, go on. So did I. It's more of a hobby for me, though.
God, you ladies did sort yourselves out. God, what's going on?
You know, when you go past 40, everything goes down south.
I don't think so. I'm past 40. Thank you very much.
Any moment now.
I'm insulted.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
That's right. It's coming, Mia. It's coming. Yeah, we're back tomorrow at 1 with Wedding Bliss. We're due, I think we're on Savas on Thursday morning. I've been invited on Tottenham away tomorrow night, but I haven't answered yet. So yeah, we're everywhere. You'll find us all everywhere. But thanks everyone for tuning in. Make sure you've gone over to Spurs Between the Lines if you're over on my channel, and hit a like and subscribe. And if you're on Mia's channel, head on over to Just a Girl Loves Spurs and hit the like and subscribe because it's a dual stream. Thank you to Jim and Kuva for joining us. Any final thoughts before we go?
Yeah, thank the super chats.
Oh yeah, sorry. Big up to David Shear. Oh my God, I will say it right. Who became a member and gifted 5 memberships. Who I think went to Drew Love, Potato Stew, Nick Brown, Elly got one, and the Beer Talk. So yeah, big up to you for your.
Elly wasn't a member before. Elly.
She's not going to be able.
I've been members everywhere. I forget who I'm members of.
I've got a little big up for Mia actually. I've got to confess. First time I bumped into Mia, it was in I think it was Irish Hotspur chat, and she told me off for something on an argument, and I thought, who is this? And I took a genuine dislike to her. I thought, Christ, who's this bossy little know-it-all little? And then over time, I thought, perhaps it's me being a bit harsh, but she's speaking her mind and sticking up for herself. And since then, Mia has grown quickly into one of my absolute favourite YouTubers.
Thanks,
and I think when you made the decision to stop putting your face on camera, it was magical because you got one of the best smiles out there, and people
agreed.
Big up.
No, agreed. Agreed to you, Mia. You've got a beautiful smile.
Have you read
so,
yet?
It's so much better than seeing Spurs between the lines.
Yeah, we like to see the face.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kuva. Yeah, I know what, me being bossy is just absolutely no surprise that anyone thinks that I'm like that. The thing is, I know that, so I'm even aware of the fact that I am a bit bossy. So I'm really sorry if I come across a bit bossy because I'm really
no, you don't come across as bossy.
Yeah,
I'm just.
It's fine. It was
it
was a me problem, not you. A me problem, not a Mia problem.
I think Kuva got a little tingle in his loins when you bossed him about a little bit, Mia. I'm not going to lie. I think he liked it. I knew it. Excellent.
Can I make one request?
Yes.
Right? I want to big up my Kate here as well.
Oh, God.
Because Kate, she's coming to YouTube like a breath of fresh air. Smashed it everywhere she's gone. Right, and I love her. I think she speaks her mind, but she's very, very fair as well. She'll always listen to other people's opinions and never put anyone down. And that's what makes her special.
She don't listen to my opinions.
Oh, shut up.
Jim, be careful. You end up down the stairs again, mate. You've got to be watching yourself, Jimbo.
Oh, dear. Well, I'm bigging up everyone because I think you're all awesome. And thank you. Happy belated birthday to Ren. I've written it down here. I didn't realise it was your birthday, but I saw someone mention it. So happy belated birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Ren.
Yeah, thanks to everyone that subscribed tonight. I hope everyone's gone over and subbed to Mia as well. I've had a few new subs and I hope she has too. It's been a great show. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll be back next, what day is it? Tuesday.
Yes, Tuesday.
Basically,
guys, see you next Tuesday.
Yeah. We're back on Friday. But I mean, this particular show, it's all about the Banters Back Friday. But this particular show, our girly show, the ladies show, is back Tuesday at 8. When I'm not sure if we're having guests or not yet. We've got to have a ladies meeting. But whatever happens, it'll be entertainment. So thanks everyone for watching.
Hard to top me and Kuva, Kate.
Yeah, I could get Bill and Ben the Flower Pot Man. That'd be an improvement. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for coming on, and we'll see you soon. Come on, you Spurs.
Chris.